Buddy, I want you to hear next from a key partner in this work. So again, one of the things community schools means is that a community-based nonprofit organization works with the school to support parents and students and engage them and work closely with the whole school community. So one of the crucial organizations that does this for the city all over is the Partnership with Children. It also happens to be PS 67's partner in all of their success. My pleasure to introduce the CEO of Partnership with Children, Margaret Crotty. You are taller now. Congratulations.
I'm not sure whose idea it was for me to follow both the mayor and the chancellor, but here I am. I want to start with a big thank you to both of you, and especially to Chris Caruso and his team, Sarah, Mike, and Grace. And I mean, you really are our partners on the ground as well. And it's a really unique opportunity, I think, to work with you this way. And we brainstorm, we talk about data, continuous learning, we talk about all sorts of staff training, and it really is, it's a pleasure, and we're very grateful for the support that you provide. And Principal Jackson was with us from the beginning. Amina is our community school director now, and our community school director for 4 years is also back here today because it's like Hotel California, you never actually leave. So the work that Principal Jackson did with us in the very beginning to really believe in us as a partner and to welcome us into her school is just invaluable, and we're really grateful for that. You know, we love this school. We also have 18 other examples of amazing results. But as the chancellor often says, when you've seen one community school, you've seen, well, one community school. And that's why the work is so hard and so important. Partnership with Children is 110 years old. We've been providing social services, social workers, community engagement, parent support for 110 years in New York City schools. So we've been at this a long time. We've never had this kind of support from the Department of Education. We embed full-time staff in schools. These are specially trained, clinically supervised social workers, community school directors, family outreach workers, and they become part of the school community. And so that connection with the principal and the parents and all the students and teachers is really important. And my last big thank you, before I tell you a little bit about what we do, is to our own staff on the ground, because we're only as good as our frontline staff. And those of you back here, we have Derek Anello, who's our Vice President of Community Schools, of Programs, overseeing all of our community school work in the city, and several other of our staff here who are here every day. They work full-time in the school, and we're only as good as they are. So I think my job is just to support them. I'm really grateful for all the work you do. I also just want to give a little bit of background about our work. We like to think, and I think we really are, we're really grounded in data, and we care a lot about the data. We care a lot about the data that the Community Schools Initiative cares about. We care a lot about this report, but we sort of knew what was going to happen because we've been tracking these things for a long time. We're also very grounded in neuroscience because we believe two things. One is trauma really affects physiological effects on the brain, and it affects the way children learn, it affects the way children show up in school, and it affects their trajectory in life. And so what's so interesting about trauma, which is also often associated with the effects of financial poverty on a neighborhood, when children don't have security, when they're hungry, all of those things actually can have a physiological effect on the brain. But you know what the antidote is? The antidote is a safe, supportive place. It's nurturing relationships with adults, and that's really, I think, the heart of what a community school is that we are given license to really value those relationships and really make sure that every child in every school has a particular ally and an adult who's going to look out for them. And when we talk about intergenerational poverty, we're also supporting the parents who don't always have access to being able to do that for their own kids, and so we need to provide it in school. The second thing about the neuroscience is that it affects two parts of the brain the most. One is where you learn, and the other is where you have your social emotional learning, your executive function. And so you are at a physiological disadvantage when you walk into a school and you are in trauma. And so again, it's the social emotional learning, it's the relationships with adults to make sure that you have 21st century skills. Those are goal setting, decision making, relationships with peers, being able to see the future. And that's all because we can really make sure that kids feel safe. In other words, when housing, mental health, trauma, hunger, insecurity, when all those things get in the way of learning and appearing in school regularly, then they're now academic problems, and they're problems that schools need to deal with, and that's where we think we've been helpful. We've mentioned a lot of these examples, but, every student need is an academic need. If they don't have a place to wash their uniform, if they don't have a place to do homework, if they're hungry when they get to school, if they don't have a consistent access to good food, if they don't have a warm bed, if they're not sure how to get eyeglasses to see the board, these are all things that schools need to deal with before we can even talk about maintaining our high academic standards. And when we talk about meeting kids where they are, that's what we mean. That's the essence of equity, and that's why we're all here today. And so we're really, really proud to play a part in making sure that kids are ready to learn. So let me tell you just a few things about what we actually do. A lot of it's been mentioned. One of the things that's really nice about the community school model is it allows us to have a comprehensive approach to services, so we can be not just reactive, but proactive. So we talked a lot about attendance support. It will be our family outreach workers and our social workers who will actually know, why is that kid late for school? And more often than not, it's because the mother is on her third shift and she didn't get home to take the brother and sister to school. And this is not about making assumptions about what's happening to kids. This is about actually learning about what's happening to individual kids. And attendance is not only because you need to be in school to learn, it's also a canary in a coal mine. Low attendance is really probably the best predictor of other things going on, and recent studies have said it's even the best predictor of homelessness. So we pay a lot of attention to attendance. Second, it is our community school director who will arrange a lot of the enrichment services, and it's the community school budget that pays for it. So it'll be our CSD who will arrange the tutoring and the test prep services to come in. It's also all of the arts and sports and STEM. So across our portfolio of community schools, we have all sorts of tech programs, digital arts, Lego robotics, mindfulness, yoga, arts therapy, arts programming, and also, remember, sports and arts and games and performances, that's a way that kids feel connected to their school, and that's a way that parents feel connected to the community. And that builds community all around. Here at PS 67, we've been hosting a Freedom Summer program here every year in collaboration with the Children's Defense Fund. It's a literacy-rich program. The books are all culturally sensitive and appropriate and relevant to the community. We have local college students who are especially trained to be mentors. One of my favorite things is they start every day with the haramba, which is Swahili for pulling together, and it's really, they sing songs about something strong inside, and I tell you all that because it's really all about affirmation, and that's really what's at the heart of the community school model. But I will tell you what you might even like even more. This program has not only decreased, it has ended summer learning loss. And we have nationwide results of Freedom Schools, and this school and two other schools where we're doing it have had some of the best results in decreasing summer learning loss. And we think that's because of the rest of the depth of the community school model that it was able to build upon. And then we've talked a lot about health and wellness. We've talked about the dental clinics, but I just want to say one word about it. It actually means taking a classroom and making it into a dentist's office. They do cleanings and fillings twice a year. I mean, it's real. The eyeglasses we've talked about. The food pantries, we have fresh food. It's not boxed and canned food. It's fresh food for families, and it's empowering, and it's an amazing engagement tool. It also builds trust in the community if we can offer something that is a daily need. And then the heart, the DNA of Partnership with Children is really mental health. We've been built on putting social workers in schools all these years. And again, it's all about social emotional learning, 21st century social emotional skills, executive function, and really stemming the physiological effect of trauma on kids' brain development so that they can learn. Again, we talk a lot about our groups. These were mentioned.
We're going to have to actually, I'm going to interrupt you for a second. The principal has handed me a note that our students need to get back to class.
Okay,
so,
I'm almost done. I have one more thing to say.
Let's let them go first, and then you can wrap up calmly. So everyone, thank you for joining us for this. But with love. Let's see how the adults can do it. The kids were a lot more organized than you. Okay, we'll give the adults a grade. All right, we good? Okay, continue.
So the mayor assured me he cut me off with love. I'm done. I just want to give just a couple more quick examples. We really come with a whole set of trainings on restorative practices that was mentioned so that you don't have a punitive environment, but a real supportive and restorative environment. And that brings in parents and communities as well. But again, it's really about working with the principal. And across our schools, principals tell us that because of the work that we're able to do and take off their plate, they have 40% more time to really think about instruction and running their school. And so I think that's one of the things I'm most proud of. Thank you again to the mayor, to the chancellor, to the Office of Community Schools, to the school mental health team at the DOH-MH for your support. This is really one of those things that we're all in together, and we're really proud and happy to be part of it. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Margaret. Thank you to you and your whole team. Obviously, it is clear listening to you, this is a labor of love for you and for everyone you work with.